Ministry is it's not like so many other things we do, we volunteer, we become a part of that we consider a priority and something we want to do, so we'll clear our schedule to do it. The ministry is a funny thing because if it becomes an inconvenience, a lot of times people are like, well, I just can't, I won't, and that's more appropriate than I can't. But when you're leading in ministry, you get run the frustration when you'll get that phone call and say, hey, something came up, I'm just not going to make that thing I told you I'd do 6 months ago, so I got to go to dinner. And, something vitally important like that. So we appreciate what you do, and none of us really know what all you have to go through to make this happen. Both of y'all, your whole family. And thank y'all, because I know it stresses you. It's an extra thing, and man, I know what y'all do. So thank you very much for your serving the Lord and serving so many. And making the work more a priority. We come up this week. Sometimes God puts you in a situation where you have to step back and look at what everybody else is doing. And this time last year we had one young, and this year we got a whole herd, and they're all sick. So we didn't get to do a whole lot. And to sit and watch y'all, and to sit and look back and say, man, they got this. And man, it was just awesome to see. I mean, everybody always told me, Dave, when you come out there, if you miss a week, you never know what it's going to look like when you get back. I got to experience that with y'all. I'd leave here and I'd come back, there'd be light poles up, lights working, and stuff in the ground, and real plug-ins, and I'm like, how do you run it without 50 extension cords? And we did, and I mean, it was cool. So, but I'm going to tell you, when we all come together for the kingdom, it's amazing what can be done. And everybody has different partners. If you don't have a tractor driver, and people don't want to walk, all of you that work hard on your scenes, don't want nobody see it. On the tractor, if you don't have a narrator to tell what's going on, they don't see it. Some people consider their roles backup roles or extras, but I'm going to tell you, when you have people at the scenes hollering out extra stuff and adding to it, it makes a difference, and it adds to it. And I'm going to tell you, I just am amazed at how God uses y'all and uses so many other churches. There's only one church. And when you see people come together, and it was awesome to see, Garden City. I got a call from Calvary Baptist from Fort Walton Beach. They came, and a man called me and said, I just want to tell y'all thank you. He said, we brought a group out last night, and he said, it was fascinating. He said, it just is awakening stuff within us. And anyway, they were just so enthralled with it all. And I said, this is way outrun us, and y'all can help next year. He said, could we? I'm like, yeah, I think we can arrange that, And so he said, well, I want to hold you to that. Don't push my arm, we need you. But y'all, I'm going to tell you, when Jesus told his disciples, he said, the harvest is ready, but the laborers are few. And I want to thank y'all so much. There's those of you that spent so many hours out here, they spent so much money out here, that went home and rehearsed and practiced and worked on costumes and decorations. I've seen Candace brought 5 kids out here to hang Christmas lights. I have a new appreciation for that. No, 6 kids. She brought 6 kids out here. So she's not here this morning because we backtracked her. But we had lights and everything. And man, people just gave on. And this morning we always kind of do a review morning, and Chuck, it won't be your fault, just you, Chuck, because today I always like to have everybody come back, but if there's run too late, we'll remember Chuck's already claimed responsibility. Okay, so anyway, I want to know how it affected you, because I heard some of you say if I needed to be here. I heard people say that, and the whips and all that went into it. Because the first 3 scenes, if you think about it, the first 3 scenes is so awesome, so miraculous, and those are the ones we like. And people that come through and they see the announcement, and and then they go and they see the shepherds getting sent, and they go to the wonder that is the manger, and then you go to, I love the scene we added this year with Chuck, with the children, and it's forbidden not for the children to come unto me. And that's been such an important part of this ministry, that we do focus on the children. Somebody said, y'all sing I'll Fly Away every week. I said, I'm going to tell you something, as long as the young ones ask them to sing a hymn, we don't sing it every week. And so, when you see that, and then you see Jesus said that these are what y'all need to be like. This is the equipment. And then you see Jesus praying, first 4 scenes, and his 4 scenes, little turmoil starts coming in. And then we get to the pilot scene, and you see the trial, one of the trials, tried twice by human courts, never found guilty of evil. Then you see the crucifixion, and you see the horror of it, and you begin to think, how could this man that came miraculously and took this time with children, how could so much wrath be bottled up and unleashed upon him? And then you see the resurrection. And it's phenomenal that you see this perfect one that no human court could find any fault with him. And all the wrath that sin had earned and deserved poured upon him. And us forgiven because of our belief in Christ. So I heard all those things. I want to hear from you how it, and I'm not just talking about what the Hayride. I'm talking about there were men and women out here working months and months before any of this took place. I'd like to hear from you. Everybody talk at one time now. Go ahead and say it.
Well, the other I got to talk with Miss Tracy and Miss Linda, just because I was narrating. You grow up, and where I grew up in North Carolina, you always went to the nativity scene. That was about it. If you were fortunate enough to have been in a home that may have mentioned the other parts of the Bible, well, you might have put the puzzle together. What was it, 3 years now? I can't remember. I was gone. I found out about RTT and all this stuff out here. But out of all of that, until we became a part of this, I never seen anything from birth to resurrection. The last few years, I would say definitely crucifixion pretty much keeps you in check. But for whatever reason, well, just looking past that and knowing that Christ was their sacrifice for our sins, but the last scene, the resurrection, if you don't have that, you got nothing. To me, that was not that it's on a scale of 1 to 10 or importance, but I think realizing that the resurrection completes the process, that was important to me this year. I also heard, and I told this to Miss Tracy and Miss Linda, I don't think I could go anywhere and find anything more heart-wrenching or more, I guess, well done as well from birth to resurrection. I had never experienced it until here. And it completes the entire process. And I think people need to understand that. I think most people just go, okay, it's Christmas, here's the nativity scenes, the shepherds show up, and that's a cute kid, and they call him Jesus. But after that, really, what is there? And a gentleman I know from Woodlawn, and probably half the people here, Martin Cook, he'd never been in Bryson's school class he attended there at Woodlawn County. But Martin was like, man, I've never seen anything like it. He said it gets you in where it's supposed to get you, in the heart. So again, I'm really, really blessed to be a part of this. And I know Stephen and Jessica has started months ago with all of this. Thank y'all for putting it together. And everybody else coming together. I'm not out here every week, and I'm like Brother David. Sometimes I show up and I'm like, well, there's a porch.
When did we get unloaded?
Man, so everybody has an important role, whether it's figuring out how to put a duplex receptacle in and make it work, to being a part of the scene. And it is truly an effort to part of the Holy Spirit and getting everybody to get here and get it done. And I did have fun there.
That was such a vital part.
I had fun being in the resurrection cemetery.
You know, Romans 4:25 says that he was offered up because of our offense. And he was raised because of our justification. So you're absolutely right. The resurrection is proof that God accepted Calvary. And so you're absolutely right about that if you don't have it. So you're absolutely right. Anybody else?
Brother David, I just want to mention the little detail of the outskirts of it, because the Hayride is what this is all about. That's the heart of what we do with this thing. But all the other outreaches that went on, I've got to admit, my Peter's still pounding from reading the horse. But
I see you got the horse poo on.
Mandatory foot washing
I
next year.
had no souls when I left. I had layer of dirt, layer of horse poop, layer of dirt. Besides that, when the kids and the people come in here and, you know, they're like, can I get something from my chocolate? I'm like, sure, you know, and it's like, oh, wow, it's free, and just little things like that. But we had a couple of younger kids come through, and they got their plate or their napkin, and they filled it up, you know, and they walked out, and they might come back again. Well, we've got the group from Foley. They come in and got some snacks before they went through, and then they come and loaded up and go back on the bus with. And, you know, sometimes we tend to think, well, don't get so many, you'll get one or two. And, but God always provides. There's always enough for all of them, and you never know. Yeah, exactly. And you never know when that one that's filling up his napkin don't get that.
That's right.
That's the only place he will ever, or she will ever have that. And we gave that to them, and that was free. Just like God's life. You know, all you have to do is say, Jesus, I love you, and come to my heart is free. And just the little details outside, the little ornaments that Elizabeth does, those are free. And that's something those kids might not ever get a chance to do. And every little part was just like a wagon wheel that has all the different spokes. If one of them's missing, it's not the same.
You're right, and I will tell you, I believe, I know last year they said we had about 1,200 people. This year I think we had about 800. And if you ask me which year was my favorite, I'll tell you this year was my favorite. Yeah. I believe we got more quality time with the games in the arena, more one-on-one time down at the blacksmith shop, the marshal's office, the general store, all those little things, because all of it is about sharing the love of Christ. All of it is saying, look, this is a place I love you, and we want you to come back, okay? And that was what was one of the coolest things to me, and I think this year was one of the most well presented and organized ways that we did. And we didn't advertise this year. So last year was on radio. I don't know if they did y'all did TV last year or not, and I know we did radio last year. Okay. And this year didn't do none of that. So yeah, it was down about 400 people, but I think the quality was better than the quantity. And I think next year, that'll grow. And what we got to remember is not to just ride a tidal wave of excitement here in January and February and forget about it next October when we start asking for help. We got to stick with it, okay? And all the things, opportunities that we got to do in between to really impact the community. There's a church on every corner, and there's good churches out there. And those that are doing what they do well, we want to pray for them, and we want to support them and jump behind them, but we need to make sure we're doing what God's called us to do. And it's a little different, and that's okay. If everybody's the same, somebody ain't necessary, right? So that's a good thing. So we're going to, really look forward to the 14th. We come out and we're going to hit them if they open up the wall. And I said school age, forget that, because I got some below school age and they need help. So we're going to try to minister to them too. But anyway, what else are you? Go ahead.
Every year the last ride proves when I go through. This year, Wednesday night, he was like, "Come on, let's go." Probably the second one through there. And we got around there, and it was pretty full of folks were listening and what have you. And when it started to whip, we talked about my kids got real attentive. I said, "Where did Jesus?" My boy was like, "Are they really whipping him?" No. You call her Nell. But when they got over there to this cross and you heard that hammer hit that nail and you heard him yell, everybody realized what it was. Everybody was laughing. The little girl was sitting across from us, she goes, that's the nails. That's the nails in his hands. And I hear this one right now.
Now, what you talking about?
And going on that first night, maybe I can understand it, even the little part that I played, was helping those folks get some Jesus. So all the stuff we were doing there, all the hoops people jumped through for months and all the hard work, I think it's well paid. Because, you know, you said something that kind of ticked my memory. It's for free to all us, but it costs him everything. It costs him everything, but it's free to us. So I think just then when I see it, made the rest of my week. It made getting up and coming out here and just that much better. You know? Rain, cold, on that. Let's go do it.
I think it was Thursday night. Everybody, we were wrapping up early.
Yeah.
We're like, that's it, you know, and everybody was like, hey, anybody on Straight Street been to the Hayride? We're good. All right, bring it in, closing it down. And then, I think, about 5 to 6 minutes later, this young family come up, mom, dad, grandma, and 2 little kids. Come walking up to the, y'all been on the Hayride? No. Uh-oh. They're going to go, whoa, stop. You know, and I know at that time it was the mindset we're closing it down and going home. And we did have one scene that was literally by the fish shed. Thinking they were going, and I know they're like, oh, we gotta go back. You know, and it was a little disgruntled at that time, but it's come to be expected, but they went back. And it turns out, you know, I was getting asked at family, like, well, where are we all? I see you. You were here 2 trailers ago when I was going out. I saw you. I was like, so what are y'all been doing? She goes, oh, we have been enjoying everything you have down there. They went to Straight Street and fell in love. They were friends from this campus. And they were down there playing with the animals, by the blacksmith shop, going into Marshall's office, sitting in the old church house. And they were just enjoying everything we did. And they said, we've just been everywhere. We were getting ready to leave, like, we have been on a hayride. Wow. Because that's, I mean, they did exactly what we asked them to do. Go and experience the place. When we call you, come on.
Right.
But I guess they missed their call. But we did a hayride, and it was just for one little family. And it was cool because I got to sit with them and just have a conversation with them instead of sitting up there with this the megaphone that Miss Tracy loves. I was able to sit there with them and talk to them. And at the very end, when we were done, they all spoke broken English. And they were, the grandma, I guess her English was the worst of all. But she was trying to convey the best way possible. I think she had little teary eyes at how grateful she was that we were doing what we were doing. And then his daughter translated, said, we feel so blessed that you would just be here to be a part of this, but see you guys do this. And they were grateful for all of y'all who were coming out here. That made that last trip, even if it's just that one person that needs to go, that made that trip worth it. And that group that was coming up, that actually Will held the radio there, so Will didn't want to be the guilty party that says, turn around. So I was like, we're doing this. So you let me do it. I went up to that group as they were coming back, and I said, guys, I'm sorry, but they just enjoyed this ranch. They lost track of time, and they did it. And they were like, you know what? That may have been the one family that needed this ride. And so their whole mentality went from, oh, we got to walk back out there, to, no, we need to do this. And we were glad to do it. So I was grateful for that as well.
We had one at our scene that said, we went back and said, guys, we got another trailer. He said, man, I hope there's 12 more trailers. I was like, that's awesome. And then Miss Tina was like, this may be the one that needs it. This might be what this whole thing was about. Might be this one person or this one family. And I was like, man, guys, you know what? Y'all are awesome. That's awesome. So it's cool. You know, and the devil hates that. And the devil will try to get little things here and there. And the thing is, you just don't give the devil a foothold. That's what the scripture says. Go ahead, Steve.
every year I get something from Hayride. And in the first year, 6 years ago, I was behind the scenes. It was David and Jimmy's headache then.
Thank you.
It was small too, it wasn't big.
Yeah.
And I was just doing behind the scenes stuff. And David had asked me, Paxton had got called out that night and had to go to work. So the guy that was doing Jesus and Resurrection thing, he went to go do the cross. And David asked me to come. He said, "Hey, you're the only person with a beard. Can you go do Jesus?" I said, "Okay." So I fell in love with it. It was so much fun, you know. And I'm a person that all my life stage fright, get in front of people was just something I did not do. And I grew so much that year from that one. Now I have no problem getting in front of people and doing it. And this year, the thing that brought me was seeing other people. He's not here, I can't pick on him, but AJ, you know, whenever I went to AJ, I said, "AJ, guess what, you're going to be on the cross tonight." And that look on his face, I remember that look 6 years ago with AJ. You know that he's going to grow from that. And Chuck, you know, Elizabeth came to me and she's like, "Chuck got up this morning." She's like, "He was in the Word from the time he got up to the time we come out here." I mean, I love so much is just the growth, get to see other people, you know, excel, you know, from doing the Hayride, you know. And I mean, it is, and the biggest thing too this year that I gained too was the body of Christ, just seeing everybody find that spot. Everybody, you know, was like, "What can I do? You know, where can I, everybody just, you know, even though we were shorthanded so many nights, you know, everybody that was here found their spot, and it was the body of Christ. And nobody's part was any more important or any less important than anybody else, but everything just went together and it worked so well. I would just thank y'all so much for all the hard work and labor and donation and everything that y'all have done to make this happen.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to share the scripture. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Y'all, anybody that knows me knows that my passion is teaching kids. And out there when I was making the crosses, I would ask all the little kids that come up, "You know why it's a cross with a bow tied around it?" And they all, of course, said that the cross is about Jesus. They knew that. And well, it's because it's Christmas. I said, "Well, you understand that the greatest Christmas gift we were ever given was Jesus. Because he came here to die for us, to give us eternal life in heaven with him." And how many kids, to see them understand it finally, after writing that and explaining that little cross to them, it was more than a Christmas moment. To them, they actually got it. Is unreal. I mean, and not only kids, but adults and some of them I know grew up in church, but until they went on that Hayride, and then I was sitting there explaining to their children asking them to tell me what that little cross meant, and they really got it. What we do out here isn't just about people that have gone to church their whole life get it when they see it. And they see that. And that's amazing.
I want to share scripture with you before we dismiss. This is Romans chapter 10. And starts out in verse 8, and where we're going to start. But what does it say? The word is near you, in your mouth and in your heart. That is the word of faith which we preach. That if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For with the heart one believes unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. For the scripture says, whoever believes on him will not be put to shame. There is no distinction between Jew and Greek. The same Lord over all is rich to all who call upon him. For whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. And that's great news.
Amen.
Now I want you to listen to the next part. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? And the word also means messenger. It's not just talking about the guy that stands in the preacher holder, what Tyler calls it. How are they going to know if we don't tell them? And as you see, you know around here, if you hang around here much, you'll know some days is one of our down days. It's awesome. I mean, and the opportunity that we have that God has given us here is like fishing in a stocked pond. But we've got to answer the call. We can pat ourselves on the back, and y'all deserve a pat on the back. But it doesn't stop with the last Saturday of Hayride in December. Brandon's working on the Thursday night thing with the arena. Friday night lights, working on it. Got roundup day. Didn't have the actual program. Thank God to do some awesome stuff. If you're not careful, things will get mundane. We'll lose our focus. We'll lose our sharpness. And we'll get where we'll be operating on a mediocre level, pleased with accomplishments that we get every now and then. What we must remember is that we are called to work until Jesus comes. And it's a privilege. It's not a burden. It's a privilege. And you think, I can't remember the exact quote, I almost didn't say it, but I'm going to go ahead. It talks about David Livingstone. Some of you know him. In the 1800s, missionary David had malaria several times. He had his arm, I believe his arm was attacked by a lion. That's the part I couldn't remember. It was a lion or another animal that had basically hung limp at his side. And his body had been ravished by the cost of the ministry. And they had heard about this larger-than-life character, this man. And then as they stood and saw him before him in the lecture hall, and they saw this beat up, run through the ringer, didn't look like he had much left man, calling them to come do what he did. And you know there was some that said, that cost is too great. And then there were others saying, oh, the privilege to give so much. So I want to encourage you, look, there ain't one single part. The person that passed out the cookie is just as important as passing on the cross. You understand? The hospitality, the love that went into it, and the representation of Jesus. Because how are they going to know? How shall they call on him whom they have not believed? How shall they believe in him whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? That's you and me. How shall they preach unless they are sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who preach the gospel of peace, who bring glad tidings of good things. We're always going to be asking you something. You know, we started, one of the things behind Cowboy Church is you don't ask too much. You keep sermons short, we missed that part. You keep the sermons short, and you make everybody comfortable. God don't care if you're comfortable. God wants you to be holy, not comfortable. The cross wasn't comfortable. And we'll get uncomfortable for all kinds of things. And it's okay to get uncomfortable for Jesus, because you just might find, like Stephen did, that right in the middle of your uncomfort is that moment where you're like, I love this. So I'm on the forward, because we start all the ministries that's going, and some of them already started. It's nothing new. Find a place to get involved. Even if your place is being at the store and saying, how old's that little young one? 3, they're 4. You know what? Y'all take them out to the ranch Saturday. There's ways to be involved for Christ. And we're going to have probably New Year's Day, we preach out of Acts chapter 2. And we're going to try to gear up for what it takes to be a fruitful church. And the things that we need to commit to. So I challenge you. You know, we talked last night, the kids, Savannah, Shelby, and Tyler, they set up chairs this morning. Last night, y'all know how they work. And I could care less about playing church. I could care less about looking the part, and y'all know that. there's an old saying in the SWAT world, and I don't agree with it. We used to say it was an excuse for those that were not willing to be ready. But they would say that a group that can't pass inspection, a group that passes inspection won't pass combat, and a group that passes combat won't pass inspection. I don't adhere to that. I think that's unprofessional, and I think it's an excuse to be sloppy and hope for the best on an operation. Not worried about it being pristine, but we need to be ready. We need to be up to speed. We need to know how to share the gospel. If somebody looked at us and said, "Tell me about this Jesus," and what that means is our lives need to be where they need to be. You can blend in with an activity, but personal evangelism requires faithfulness to a holy God. So I want to tell you thank you. I want to encourage you, if you're excited right now, and you ought to be, there's more. The opportunities ain't over, and they ain't waiting until next December. You're going to have opportunities on Thursday night. Jimmy and them give you. I'm useless in the afternoon school program right now. All right? But so Jimmy and them could use your help. So there's your opportunities right there. It's nothing like walking up to them. And they'll do 15 things to make you think, my goodness, what were we thinking? Let's give them pizza, get them here at 6, get them out at 7:30, and be done with it. That way we don't know how sloppy their lives are. That ain't no ministry. But you'll walk up to the back of the truck and they'll stand 14 youngins talking about how to get saved. And you think, quit your whining and move on. So there's opportunity there. Wednesday, Thursdays is coming. Fridays, there's there. We're going to do a Saturday a month. So I'm so busy. Well, yeah, and if you wasn't busy doing something for Jesus, you'd be busy doing junk that don't matter no how. So get busy for Jesus. Let's pray.